The side deck is a mystical place, so we're going to be covering a good chunk. Oh god, the side deck is immense right now. You know, just because Dino Wrestle Prankertops and Red Reboot went to 1 does not mean that players still aren't playing them. You would have thought that there would have been a little shift in the format where players are like, oh, they're at 1, I don't want to play them anymore. I actually got hit with that reasoning recently, and I don't think it is correct at the very least to say. Just because like they're at 1 doesn't mean that I guess you hit consistency on them, but like you still wanna play them, right? They're that good. Let's dig on into top 5 side deck cards on the format, shall we? Alright, number 1 on our list here. Evenly matched. So, Evenly is one of these cards right now that is going up, straight to the moon with that bad boy. One of the things I've been seeing with this is one of those cards that players are looking at more in the main deck in certain matchups than it's kind of seeing play in the side. But then again, in other matchups, you just see straight 3 evenly matched in the side, and you're like, So evenly matched right now, you bait your opponent's negates. Your opponent puts an Appaloosa on the field with a sleeper with a Trigate. All right, all you gotta do is negate that Trigate, and then evenly your opponent, and you get the freest clear of your life. You literally take care of everything. All right, that's in a hypothetical matchup. Then you've got Altergeist over here in the corner that you're like, you didn't have the judgment, or you blew the judgment on the Lightning Storm, and then you proceed to evenly match them. Like, that's the dream right now against Geist. You're like, oh, hey, man, Lightning Storm. They're like, negate with judgment, and then you evenly them, and you're like, oh, yikes. That's what it's like to chew 5 gum. But evenly is this massive blowout card right now, and it's really proving that it's going up in value. Like, look at the secondary market. 28 to 31, 32 a piece for these things. It definitely proves that the card's got value. So, if you're going forward into the format, do give evenly matched a shot here, because the board-ripping powers of this thing are really, it's here to show. Like, I don't know what else to say about this other than, if you can't play evenly matched, play some Lightning Storm. And if you can't afford Lightning Storm or evenly matched, go play a better deck. That's all I gotta say. Number 2 on our list here is Drawl and Lockbird. So, Drawl has taken a slightly big step back from the main decks. And this is only from like the small sample that I've seen for events as of late. Drawl has been in the side more than anything. Now, some actual accounts that I've heard from people playing at regionals and stuff, some of them were talking about that they got drolled and it just didn't matter because they just were able to deploy the Sleepy Boy, rip through the board. Or, you know, if you're maining Droll and you're playing against the Altergeist matchup, I mean, cool, they use their draw card and then they might have their search for, you know, the multi-faker, or they might just have the search for the multi-faker depending on how they open. Droll doesn't give you a lot of leeway in that matchup. Same thing with Droll against Salad. Like, now that the format is being discovered a little bit more, Droll's overall potential in the main deck, really, it's not worth it. I mean, like, yeah, if you're going into an event, you're like, yeah, I'm going to play 10 Spirals today. And then you don't play Spiral because you are maining Droll and Lockbird. That's going to be the general thing that I think players are going to start to run into. Just because I'm saying this, the naysayer is going to be like, I don't listen to you, Robbie, you're dumb. You know what you're talking about. And then they'll run into the regional and they'll be like, I played one Spiral deck. And you're like, wow, I would have rather have had Ash in the entire tournament because it would have been a better call. It's literally what my group chat's telling me. They're like, God, Droll and Lockbird's so much better. I'm like, for your Spiral matchup, yes. What about every other matchup that you have out there? You know, like, you got a lot of decision trees you need to make right now. So I'm just saying that Ash is better for the larger coverage of decks. That's why you side the Drolls and bring them in for your bad Spiral matchup, which you blow them out of the water anyway. Alright, so there's that. Number 3 here is Red Reboot. So at the beginning of the video I mentioned that a lot of players are like, well, the card's limited to 1. Do I really want to dedicate the 1 spot to this? What if I don't draw it? You know, it's a 1 of. one-ofs, a lot of people are viewing one-ofs as bad right now. I guess people are at this point in their gaming career that they're viewing multiple cards that have a slightly better interaction level, I feel. A little bit higher, but Red Reboot on, say, your standard OTK turn is pretty much, the tits. Like, you'll blow out Geist, you'll blow out Stun. These heavy trap row deck or back row decks, you're like, watch me combo, and then your opponent's like, but what do? So just because the card is at 1, I think players are looking at this in not the right light here. I think that a lot of players are just a little bit blindsided by this. They're like, well, consistency goes to show, and if I can't draw the card in, the appropriate number, then it's just not worth dedicating the 1 slot to in the side. So I guess under that logic, hindsight's 50-50. It's up to you if you want to play the one-of. I'm just saying that it's seeing play right now in sides. A lot of players are not following that mentality of, oh, it's at 1, like, let's not play it. I still think that it's worth it. In the matchups that you draw it and you blow your opponent actually out of the water, it is worth it. In the matchups that you draw it that you don't want to see it, well, it's yikes. Don't even get me started on the players that were like, we should main this. And I'm like, oh god, oh nope, you're a special breed of duelist. Number 4 on our list here is Waking the Dragon. So, I have predominantly, basically, have seen this in a lot of the Paleo decks right now. Now the Lightning Storm's in full swing. Now we can start siding the Waking the Dragons. Now a friend of mine was like, hey Robbie, listen. I'm like, what? He's like, every time you play Waking the Dragons now, main an Archlord Christia. I'm like, why? He's like, you special summon it to the field and watch your opponent, not do anything. I'm like, but why not, like, Last Warrior from Another Planet or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's 2,800, Robbie. I'm like, So, players are looking at this. You got Exterior, you got the Last Warrior from Another Planet, you got Ultimate Falcon, you got Archlord Christia, because I have to say that. I don't know. I think in terms of options, it's, if you bait your opponent into this, why play Starlight Road, alright? There are a lot of players out there like, oh, you should play Starlight Road right now. Who cares about, getting Lightning Stormed? Like, we bring out a Stardust Dragon. Or, you can bring out a Last Word from Another Planet, Exterio, Archlord Christia. You have a lot better options at your disposal. But, what do I know? I'm not trying to deploy an Exterio here in a certain matchup. Like, I'd rather just bring out the big guns. But Paleo Frogs are definitely, I think the 3 builds I've seen were all playing Waking the Dragon in some capacity right now, because it's that good. Like, why would you not want free rewards? Alright? I'm just saying, watch your opponent stumble into that Lightning Storm, and they just create themselves another problem. It's great. Cheers. Sacking my opponent. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is great like that. Last thing on our list here is actually in the Specter Border. So this I've seen in random things, this format. And it really caught me off guard seeing this in sides, especially at 3. I was like, okay, so like I got it, I understood Geist. Then I saw it in Paleo Frogs, I was like, huh. Like, so if I don't have the Toad, I just drop Mr. Border on the field and floodgate out my opponent. Like, that's how this works, right? It's your sub-game plan that you just look to punish your opponent, and if your opponent has the out to it, well, it'd be like that, or you make the Toad with the Inspector Border with back row. I'm not sure what the game plan there is. I just think we're summoning the Border in certain matchups when we're going first, and we're just punishing our opponent for not being able to out it. That would be my general consensus on that, but that was a little bit of an interesting thing to see as of late. Specter Border finding his way into side decks right now that aren't True Draco, surprisingly. Is True Draco dead or not? Leave a comment down below to tell me what you guys think. But outside of that, yeah, Border moving into the side deck. I guess we should have saw this. It's not as spicy as like what you can do with the Waking the Dragons, but going first in Specter Border is still as cancerous as it's ever actually been. I'm just saying. So guys, what do you think about these 5 choices? Please, if you comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you got the bell notifications on. Make sure if you're buying on TCG Player, use the link down below. Helps supports the channel, and you just have to click an extra couple of buttons. Proves to me you guys like me. Alright guys, that's all I got for this. We'll have some other discussions later in the week. And well, I'm out guys. Peace. The ride never truly ends. Thank you patrons for helping support the channel. Without you guys, I don't know if I'd still be doing this. And for those of you that like Cardfight Vanguard, FanCool40 is here for all your content needs. And those of you asking if I sell cards, mcoolgames.com for all your trading card game needs. Check the description for more interesting info. Thanks for watching, guys.